Welcome back everyone dito sa latest episode ng Pilipinas 360 Degrees. Kanina medyo behave kami. Now, gusto kong balikan. Medyo may mga hugot akong konti. Sir Ronald, nung isang araw, binubuli mo ako. Nasabi ko, ilang segundo ko lang nakita yung warrant of arrest ni Bato. And then may isang kaibigan nagsabi, hindi siya,
Several minutes.
several minutes. Kung ikaw ba tinulugan mo overnight yung warrant na hug mo ba yung warrant of arrest?
Oo, kasama ng unang ko. Na,
Wala kami sa lola mo.
at napanaginipan ko pa.
Si Bato.
Sabi ko, tingnan mo itong dalawang ito.
Hindi. Totoo naman kasi talaga si Ronald kasi tanong na tanong si Ami. O ano nandun? Sino pa na dyan? Hindi. Tapos ikaw, dinidemonstrate mo pa paano siguro nakita ni Richard yung document. And then talaga sabi ko, binabully talaga ako ni Sir Ronald. Kung ikaw, ilang oras mo nakita, sana ikaw na lang
Hindi
ipina-interview.
kita binubuli. I was just making fun of the moment.
No, you're bullying. Tapos mamaya, ang topic namin, si Trump. Tapos may sinabi ako McKinley, gano'n. Ay, hindi mo pwedeng gawin ako ng McKinley. Of course, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yung McKinley kasi wala pang mga matinong warships. But anyway, Sir Ronald, balikan natin. So in the previous episode, we were talking about the need for an end game by the president. The people who look at the glass half full would say, ikaw, Ronald, all of you people, ang dami yung kuda. At the end of the day, this was the president who made sure that Digong will probably spend the rest of his life most likely in detention there. Talo ng talo lahat ng mga kanilang appeal sa ICC. Kiboloy was canned. You know, many big developments happened last year, including, of course, some of his even key allies lost their position. So parang one side of the argument is that baka you guys are not giving enough credit to the guy because you don't appreciate na parang mas suabe ang gusto niyang approach. But your argument is that there's time to be suabe, there's time to be talagang bardagulan. Is that your point? Because I want to really discuss here what is at stake if Sara Duterte returns. Because Sir Ronald, to be honest, I'm talking to people from different sectors and all. Then many people are already saying either, okay, may plan B na, mag-exile na kami, alis na kami, or iba, oh, maybe Sarah would be that bad after all. I mean, even some people close to us. I mean, she's not her dad. She hindi naman yun mag-EJK, hindi naman yan maging pro-China. I mean, I heard even some Americans say, no, she did that IVLP program with State Department. Di ba, pumunta naman siya sa US. So there's that kind of a cope, parang nagko-cope mechanism na yung coping mechanism na yung ibang tao. What do you think people are realizing what would the Sara Duterte presidency mean? I mean, what would it mean for people to realize, especially for some of us who have skin in the game, to be honest about it, Sir Ronald?
Well, you don't have to be a half competent political analyst to realize na uh, yung tatay dramatically weakened all our political institutions. No? Dramatically weakened. At hindi mo naman kailangan maging half stupid para ma-realize na a Sara presidency would totally not only upturn, will totally destroy those institutions.
Whatever is left of those institutions,
Yes,
just to be
whatever
clear,
is left of those weakened institutions. Tingin ko hindi mo naman kailangan maging graduate para
Ayan.
or magkaroon ng doctorate, masteral.
Or Oxbridge,
Yeah,
or ano,
so
yeah.
I'm trying to be
Bakit meron bang mga may doctorate at
I'm
saka
trying to be circumspect.
hindi nila
Dahil nung
na-appreciate?
sinabi ko na marami akong nakiusap na diplomats
Yeah.
na ang concern nila, a Sara presidency will transform us into a failed state practically. May mga nagsabi na, sino mga kanyan? Sino mga diplomat yan?
Na
Sino mga
sumaseryoso
kanyan?
sa'yo.
Oh, na may mga PhD, yung mga nagtatanong. No? So, sabi ko, saan ba nanggaling itong mga to?
Parang kilala ko yan.
So, ang sinasabi ko lang ay parang hindi ko sinasabing imminent yan. Ang sinasabi ko,
No, but people have to know what's at stake.
yeah,
diba?
that's a
What's
worst
at
case
stake?
scenario. Kung nga, mas nandun ako sa half empty na a lot can still be done para mapigilan yan, especially this year.
Yeah.
No? Yun lang some forces have to get their act together. Halimbawa, last month, nag-launch ako ng sarili kong mahiya naman kayo campaign.
Aba.
Ang sinasabi ko, mahiya naman kayo. Kung hindi nyo i-harness itong lumalawak na anti-corruption, anti-impunity, anti-dynasty movement na ito. No? Ngayon lang uli ako nakakita ng ganyang kalawak, ganyang ka-intense since the 80s. Bakit walang tumatayong political leader para i-harness yan? Mahiya naman kayo. no? Lalo na yung mga nag-iisip na business as usual. Na okay lang yan, pero maghihintay kami hanggang 2027. Yun ang sinabi ko a month ago. No? Dahil nga, sayang eh. Sayang ito eh. No? Pag hinarness mo yan, ang kakabahan ay yung mga Duterte. Pag hinarness mo yan at dalhin mo yan sa logical conclusion, sila yung kakabahan. Sila yung dapat magpanic. No? Tingnan mo, may impeachment, may plunder, may ICC,
Yeah.
no,
Yung
etc.
toolkits mo, yeah.
Bakit kayo magpapanik?
Yeah.
No?
Ang dami pang toolkit.
Unless hindi kayo seryoso. No? Yun ang sinasabi ko. Doon ako sa half empty.
Yeah,
Oh.
again, Sir Ronald, this was not a question of it was not a probabilistic, it was a question of, I want people to realize what would Sara Duterte presidency mean for people to realize what is at stake.
Yeah.
Kasi sabi nung ibang tao, nagsistress lang naman kayo dyan. It's just gonna be a variation on the theme. We have some friends, lahat naman sila oligarchs, they're dynasties. I think some of our good friends, literally good friends, don't realize Sara Duterte presidency mean probably wala na tayong podcast.
Well, yeah.
Nasa exile na tayo lahat.
Pero alam mo ba, yung mga nagtatanong na ganyan na, hindi naman yung mangyayari. No? Tingin ko, hindi lang sila nakatira sa kuweba. Nakatira sila sa isang kuweba sa ilalim ng dagat.
Dagat din.
No?
From,
perhaps sa
Poseidon ng
Mindanao Deep, no? Nandun
Yeah.
sila, no? So, kaya nga inuulit ko ay kung mangyayari yan, no? It's going to be the worst of the worst.
And
no?
okay, the
Kung
other
nagpapatay sila ng 35,000 during the term of the father, mas matindi ito. At this time, it will be a political tokhang. It will be a political tokhang.
file cases, right?
Hindi lang ito
Harassment,
anti-crime. At yung sinasabi na half-jokingly ni Digong na, ano bang masama na maging probinsya tayo ng China? Dito, magiging probinsya talaga tayo ng China. No?
Ano bang
Under their
masama na
watch.
maging probinsya tayo ng China?
Ayun lang, baka kasi
Baka, yun na, kasi Trump na lang, alam, probinsya tayo ni Trump ngayon.
ang problema lang pag naging probinsya tayo ng China, baka ang magka-problema yung China.
Actually, I'm worried for
Imagine what they will do with 120 million
they don't,
Filipinos. No?
Tsaka ma-reverse lahat ng indicators of development nila. Like,
Tapos baka maging head of state pa noon. At least executive secretary si Harry Roque.
ayun.
So,
spokesman.
hindi na spokesman.
Hindi
na. Baka
spokesman of governor, hindi.
Secretary of Justice, no? Executive Secretary, no? So,
Si Zaldi, maging DPWH secretary.
yes.
Magaling sa infrastructure.
Magaling.
So, yun ang cabinet, no? DPWH Secretary Zaldi ko. Harry Roque, Justice Secretary. Si Malu, baka no? Spokesman, presidential spokesman.
Baka kabahan yung China pag
Tapos
na-realize
Jimmy
nila,
Bondoc,
no? What they're taking
ombudsman.
over.
Parang, it looks like sinong foreign secretary nila?
Ano?
Si Guan.
Baka si Sasot.
Si Attorney G, yung nagmamahal sa atin. Parati tayong binubuli.
Hindi ko siya kilala eh. Ano mo sinasabi tungkol sa atin?
Ayan, okay.
Sorry hindi ko binomonitor yan eh. Yung mga ganyan.
Hindi mo nakita ko, nagre-react ka nga nung
Hindi ko nga sino yung Attorney G.
Yung Attorney G na sinasabi, ba't may ambassador na pag-usap sa'yo, hindi ka naman graduate?
Hindi ko nakita. Nakita ko lang yung isang political analyst.
Ay.
Sinong ambassador yan?
Yan na naman
At
tayo.
ko naman sasabihin sa kanila kung sino.
Ito ba yung mga half smart or not half smart analyst?
That will be a compliment.
Okay, sir, balikan natin ito. No. I mean, to be honest, I don't think people realize what a SAR presidency could mean in terms of first of all, for some of people's friends, they will probably disappear, either preemptively or not. But also, to be honest, nag-uusap din naman ako sa ambassadors and all, right? Di ba? There are many of these. Hindi lang ambassadors, sa mga prime ministers and defense ministers. No, their idea is that, okay, we're signing all of these agreements. You're asking us to invest. Kasi, di ba, ang point natin, hindi pwede military lang. Mag-invest kayo, semiconductors, infrastructure. The question they'll always ask us, kayo nga nagsabi, pag bumalik ang mga Duterte, ito, tapos sasabihin, mag-invest kami, and then you cannot assure us. Do you get what I'm saying? Parang yun ang problema ngayon. Parang sasabihin ng ambassadors, bakit kami magko-commit for the next 10 years? You cannot even tell me in the next 2 years kung saan papunta tong bansa na to.
Kaya dikit-dikit yan eh.
Diba? Kaya yung problema natin
Hindi mo pwedeng hiwala yung it's the economy stupid, with the corruption stupid, with the politics stupid. Lahat yan interrelated, di ba? Kung hindi mo gagawin ito, paano papasok ang investors, no? Paano mag-i-stay ang investors kung hindi mo gagawin ito, di ba? Politically. No? Kung ang tingin ng investor, uy, ang laki ng chance na ito maging gobyerno in 2 years. Eh, lalong aalis ng bansa yan. This early, hindi sa 2028. No? So, yun yung dapat gawin ng gobyerno, yung dapat nilang gawin. No? Logically.
Right.
No? Ay lang oftentimes, the government is the less logical institution around. No? So, yun ba yung kinukuha? Dahil civil society can only do so much.
Right.
Diba? Ang may
Limited ang
hawak talaga
resources.
nung bull by its horns ay yung gobyerno. Oh, kaya,
You don't see a
okay,
room for Duterte proofing, because that's one of my suggestions. Like, do defense agreements, strategic agreements that can survive even
with weak institutions, you cannot do
mahirap
that.
yun. Yeah.
No? Siguro kung meron kang strong institutions like in Europe or Canada, baka sakaling may possibility ng Duterte proofing. Pero with weak institutions all over the place, how can you mitigate that disaster, that political tsunami kung sakali?
Buti hindi tayo nagkasama nung kausap natin. Ambassador. And actually, dati kasama tayo parati. Pero buti ngayon hindi na kasi parang
Oo.
baka ma-depress tayong lahat.
Hindi, sabi nga nung isa, sinong ambassador ang kakausap niya kay Llamas, di ba? Oo, di ba? Oo.
Basically,
Oo.
everyone.
Bumaba na naman yung self-esteem ko nang sinabi.
Ayoko ng patulan to, ma'am. Bagong taon na eh.
Oo.
Sir Ronald, so now let's break it down. So last year, the most we got of the privately commissioned surveys, kasi yung public na nakikita natin, surveys lang yan eh. So, dun sa privately commissioned surveys, at least, nandun lang si ibang kaibigan natin, last year pa to lumalabas na like a Rafi Risa is strong, this kind of a joint candidate, Rafi close to admin, Risa close to opposition. And then back then, even an Amy Sara would make sense. Now the conversation is more like Sara Mark Oleta. And then if you're saying Rafi is not in the game, then automatically the next question is Lenny in the game? And if Lenny's not in the game, then automatically that pushes Bam, Kiko, and Risa into the front of discussion. Not to mention you have dark horse people like General Torre, who could potentially appeal also. I know, of course, well, I think mas persona non grata pa siya sa akin ngayon sa Mindanao because of yung panghuli kay Digong. Which makes me wonder, parang ang layo naman ng ano namin. But nevertheless, he has Mindanao roots. He can speak, I think, Waray, Ilonggo, Bisaya. Like, he still has some roots there. Potentially, of all of these top contenders, he could be someone who could be competitive in some of these areas that perhaps some of the more Luzon-based candidates cannot be. So he could be either the VP or part of the conversation. So i-break down natin, Sir Ronald. Like, obviously, damning variables. There are 1,000 variables here. But we both know there are conversations already going on. Taipans are already meeting some of these candidates. We know that for a fact, right? So even the Taipans are looking at saan tayo mag-invest, sino mga potential. So the ship is already sailing. So can you granularly break down ano yung mga permutations here and what are the pros and cons of these permutations? I know it's very executive summary. I mean, we can go on forever about this. But I want people to realize we're already at that stage where we have to seriously look at the permutations.
Well, una, yung pinag-usapan na natin, it has to be only one.
Right.
No? It has to be only one. Ayokong i-preempt yung processes na
Yeah, of
dinadaanan
course.
ng
I
different
understand.
groups. Ang sinasabi ko lang, may processes na dinadaan.
At dapat may process
At
na yan.
dapat isa lang yan. It doesn't have to be an official coalition. Doesn't have to be a united front. Basta merong unspoken understanding na kahit hindi magsama, kahit magkakaaway yung mga yan, merong primary enemy. No? At kinakailangan isa lamang ang kandidato laban dyan sa primary enemy na yan.
So,
No?
it could be possible the
Pwede nga, Juan.
admin has no presidential candidate?
Yeah, posible. That's
VP
possible.
candidate lang.
Yeah, posible eh. Posibleng ganun. No? Pwedeng may independent na vice presidential candidate. Pero kailangan kasi may value added eh.
Of
Hindi
course.
lang isang grupo eh. Hindi pwede yung dati na, isang partido, merong presidente at saka vice. At this point, parang mahirap yan. Kailangan may value
Just
added
split
from
na.
other forces. Yun yung una, just one candidate. Ikalawa, it has to be, he or she has to be a disruptor of sorts. Cannot be business as usual. No? With all the problems of the country, hindi pwedeng normative. No? Hindi ko sinasabi abnormal. No? Pero sinasabi ko, this has to be both a disruptor and a unifier. No?
So, may radical na pagbabagong pinapromise pero at the same time hindi polarizing.
Na pwede mong pagsamasamahin yung diverse forces.
Coalition.
So ano yung balance na yan? No? More disruptor or more unifier? Pero yung dalawang characteristics has to be there. No, yun ang sinasabi ko. Diyan.
In one candidate or in the joint
in
ticket?
one, basically in one candidate.
In one candidate.
Dapat iconic yung kandidato
Yung
yan.
presidential.
Oo. Katlo, dapat may gawin ka para yung primary enemy ay mo-weaken. No?
In the meantime, before the election.
In the meantime. At panghuli, dapat ma-harness mo itong 40% na undecided na marami ay kabataan. Kailangan meron kang particular project para ma-harness sila. So tingin ko yun
We
yung
don't
mga...
have exit polls. We
oo.
don't have proper studies. So,
Yeah.
pag-aralan dapat
Yun yung
talaga.
apat na
oo.
variables na tingin ko mahalaga. Kung i-deconstruct natin yung possible alternative.
I-deconstruct natin. So, like for instance, dun sa 40%, 42%. So 60% of that 40% is Gen Z lineal, right? If Bongo and Bato got more than 20 million votes, that means there are also Gen Zs who voted for the Duterte camp. So let's not get ahead of ourselves and say
Yes.
na yung I don't know, 3 million ang punta sa akbayan says all
Yes.
no, they're not.
Yes.
Obviously hindi monolithic yung Gen Z. So kailangan pag-aralan ng Gen Z. But it looks to me from the market research I've seen from private sector and others, the concept of security, financial security and predictability is very important for Gen Z. So how could a non-Duterte candidate appeal to that? Because you can clearly see a Sara candidate will say, pag akong presidente, patayin lahat ng kriminal and, or whatever, something like that. And then populist, like, you know, malasakit, ganyan. That would be the line to win over the sense of security. What should be the line of the progressive
It
candidate?
should be a combination of two things. Una, something concrete. Ano ba yung interest nila at this point? And something more abstract, like salvation. This is about a salvation of your future. No? Kailangan may ganung klaseng millennialist approach din.
Na kung
No?
ito, catastrophe ito.
Ito yung catastrophe, ito masasagip tayo.
Exactly.
Pero kailangan mong haluan niya ng something specific. Ano ba yung concerns ng Gen Z at saka ng millennial? Ano ba yung pinanggagalingan ng kanilang insecurity? Yan ba ay usapin lamang ng jobs? Yan ba ay usapin ng benefits? No? Yan ba ay usapin ng technology? No? So kailangan ayokong i-presume na alam ko yan. No?
We're just asking what we should know.
Ito yung mga something concrete. Pero hahaluan mo yan ng salvation issue. Dahil
grand narrative.
in an existential battle, kailangan nandun yung salvation. No?
I was thinking, like, let just people imagine, like I did that with Bam, right? Sabi ko, you can imagine a situation, Bam is the president or vice president, and then Vico Soto is the DLG secretary, Riza is there. Like, imagine, will you be proud of that government when it speaks at the UN? And then imagine a government, like with Sara there, Harry Roque, they're gonna, will you be proud and will you be confident? Because you have to make people visualize it.
Yeah.
Is this a government you can trust with climate change? With West Philippine Sea? Is this a government na nakakaya ba or maging proud ka kung silang nag-represent sa'yo? You can show clips. Yung clips ni Sara talking about education issues. Is this the person you want as president to discuss complex economic issues or go to the UN? And then you put a speech of Bam, you put a speech of Rizal. I think it's
That's
not just narrative, di ba? You have to visualize it for
Yes.
people based on actual, hindi fake news, yung actual footages and all.
That's a value added. Pero wag mong kalimutan, we progressives are in the small minority.
Yeah, we're a
No,
little...
most Filipinos are religious. A lot of Filipinos have their internal millennialism.
So messianic ang message?
They're looking for salvation. So hindi ko sinasabi naman na messianic, pero dapat may ganung aspeto. Tignan mo yung paligid mo. Look at the darkness around you. Look at the darkness in the future. No? So kailangan ay itong lalaban, may dala ring torch of salvation. Maliban pa doon sa something concrete na pinaghuhugutan nitong undecided na ito. At pag nakuha mo yan, then pwede ka lang kumutkot dun sa mga iba't ibang base ng iba't ibang kandidato or political agrupations. Pero unahin mo ito. No? Siyempre, unahin mo yung sarili mo. No? Sarili mo. Tapos, puntahan mo itong huge undecided na ito. At pag nakuha mo yan with your own political base, then tsaka mo na pasukan yung iba. No,
I'm soft Duterte
I'm
supporters,
sure may makukuha ka sa Duterte. I'm sure may makukuha ka sa ibang mga independents. May makukuha ka sa mga BBM, no, na sasabihin mo na, "Uy, this is our collective salvation." Di ba? Hindi lang ito sa amin. No? Kaya kailangan mong lumabas dun sa narrow confines ng iyong political base.
Ang classes around. So this is even more dramatic than Pinoy's presidential candidacy.
Of course, iba Iba
So,
yung
this
iba
is
yung
even more Dan Matuid than Dan Matuid.
Oo,
This is
well,
like
maraming
apocalypse,
maraming
apocalypto.
contradictions yung
Right.
panahon na yon nung 2010
Yeah.
because of the 9 years ng Arroyo government. But it doesn't approach yung existential nature ngayon.
Of the past 10 years.
Oh yeah,
basically.
ngayon. Diba? You have 17 trillion debt. No? You have lowering growth targets. Baka bumaba pa sa 4%. No? You have a very disenchanted population. No? You have contending political forces fighting for their own survival. So, kailangan mo lang ng somebody, no, na with all these contradictions, with all this darkness, magpapakita ng liwanag. At the same time, something concrete.
And that's where PR strategy and everything comes in.
Mm.
Last part, Sir Ronald, there's another component you discussed, which is if United Front can be basically more stealthy or at least informal. But what if one side of the equation wants it to be more formal than not? Na hindi parang open
Well,
relationship.
that's a possibility. Pero at
Can you
least,
do that kind of
pero,
hybrid? Let's say
yeah.
in Ilocos region where I don't know Marcos is strong or in the solid or whatever, medyo more explicit yung
Well,
United Front, but not in the rest.
Nangyayari naman yan. No? Kahit nga sa modern countries like sa Europe, nangyayari yan. Can you imagine Macron forces uniting with Mélenchon forces just to defeat the extreme right?
Or Dick Cheney's daughter endorsing Kamala Harris,
so
right?
nangyayari yan. No? Sa atin din, nangyayari yan sa local. May mga coalitions against a common enemy. At this point, a greater evil. No? Pwedeng magkaroon sa local na ganyan. So, hindi yan bago. Ang sinasabi ko lang, ayokong unahan. Will this be a formal coalition? I doubt it. Dahil nga, yung base...
You doubt it or you think it's actually not even helpful?
Both.
Both,
No?
yeah. Just to be clear, kasi there's also debate on
both.
that.
Dahil nga, ayaw mong pumunta sa 2028 na merong matinding dynamics between sa mga magsasama around one candidate.
Right.
Nile-lessen mo yung tensions. No?
You're adding unnecessary stress to the basis.
Yes.
So you can do, medyo i-massage mo lang, parang spectral, kumbaga. May pagkano.
Ginagawa lang naman natin dito sa episode mo, indicative.
Oh
Hindi
naman.
naman natin pinag-uusapan
Wala tayong
what will really happen. No?
We're totally just thinking out loud. I think ang talaga
ganyan.
motto natin. Yan ang gusto na.
In a few seconds.
Well, I mean,
Not even in a few minutes.
pero yung isa, ilang oras daw niya nakita. Ilang araw daw niya nakita yung warrant of arrest. So, tayo ilang segundo lang natin nakita. Thank you very much, Sir Ronald, for that. Yeah, I'll keep it there because the more we go, baka madulas tayo kung anong sasabihin natin. But I think it's important for people to realize, ito na yung mga serious discussion na talaga you have to go to the particulars talaga, how the coalition should be
At
built.
inuulit ko, mahiya naman tayo.
Maya naman tayo. Ako, sir, ang version ko dyan is yung sinabi ng isang napakagaling na senador dati, bababa tayo! Yun, mas gusto ko yung version na yan eh. Yung bababa tayo, di ba? Yung mas gusto ko yan eh. Namiss ko yung senador na yan. Nasaan na siya? Kamusta na siya? Anong mama naman sino to, di ba? Yung, nawala siya bigla. Ang nakita ko yung asawa niya parati sa pictures. Pakipakyut. Yung ano. Tapos yung mga dalawang anak niya ng senador, parang hindi ko alam. Hindi ko sila naririnig. May ginagawa ba sila sa Senado? Parang biglang mute mode.
Hopefully, kasama siya sa mawawala sa 2028.
Kasi parang siya yung...
Parang gumuguho yung kanilang, yung kanilang trillion peso business.
Oo nga eh. Sila yung biggest loser dun sa stock market crash.
Once in a while, may karma.
Well, I mean, wala naman tayong sinasabi
So, sana sa 2028, hindi tayo makarma.
Ayan.
Dahil hindi ko sigurado kung kaya mo mag-underground.
Overground daw, sir. Mag-fireworks tayo. On that very, I'm not
optimistic.
I'm not sure depressing note or all of that. Parang after these 2 episodes, lalo akong kinabahan. Parang ang hirap pala. No? Ang dami natin kailangan gawin sa Ronald. But, no, don't lose hope, right? Don't lose hope.
Ako?
Ikaw pa, yeah. Pero, yun nga eh, like, nakikita ko nagpa-panic mode na iba. No, there's still time, but basically next month. Sabi nga ni Sir Ron, there's still a lot of time, pero kung next month hindi mangyari, mag-panic mode na tayo. Mag-apply na. Yung mga ambassador na nakausap, baka naman.
Yeah, let's meet here next month.
Let's see. Mag-live tayo, live show. And then yung sa gitna ng show, wala na ka na. Alam mo yung gano'n, parang, I don't think this is gonna work.
Hindi, may karton.
May karton. Ilalagay yung karton, tapos lumabas. All right, on that very encouraging note, maraming salamat for everyone for joining us for the latest episode ng Pilipinas 360 Degrees. God bless and talk to you. Live,
Diba?
live pa tayo, Sir Ronald. Baka
We
madulas.
were